Right now at 10, the Sun Prairie School Board hosts a meeting while the investigation into a former dean's alleged child sex crimes continues, how the community there is responding. And coming to the rescue, the new video showing how firefighters saved a family from this weekend's Milwaukee area flooding. And Madison's lakes, they are in trouble. What experts are doing to save our bodies of water. That's all coming up on News 3 Now at 10. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Eric Franke. Sarah is off tonight, and we begin with breaking news out of Madison. A crash along U.S. Highway 151 is blocking all northbound lanes at I-3990. Dane County dispatchers confirmed fire, EMS, and law enforcement personnel are all on scene at this hour. Madison police say there were injuries at the crash scene. It is unclear when that highway will reopen. We will keep you updated as this story develops, both on air and online at channel3000.com. Well, right now, parents have a list of demands for the Sun Prairie Area School District. A small group met outside Central Heights Middle School as school board members arrived for a closed session meeting. Parents say the recent child sex charges that a former dean of students is facing is the straw that broke the camel's back. Our Tanisha Shaw has more from parents and the district.
Do your job, friend, please.
Time for leadership. Parents are making their voices heard in Sun Prairie.
We're demanding that something be done.
School board members and district staff met with those demands as they walked into a closed-door meeting Thursday.
Gotta get into this. Oh, okay. So you're refusing it? I just want to make sure.
This meeting happening as a school board is facing backlash for how they handled Robert Gilkey-Meissiger's criminal investigation. He's a former dean of West High School and is currently facing 15 child sex charges. A criminal complaint said he had sexual contact with a female student on campus and that he would exchange alcohol for news from students. It also says that someone from Sun Prairie School District started their own internal investigation on this case months before police got involved.
We want everybody that knew about this situation with Rob and giving him access, allowing him further access to these children, held accountable, everybody.
During the protest, parents gave out a list of demands, including asking for staff members involved in Gilkey-Meissiger's arrest to be put on leave or to resign, better protocols to protect children, and for more community involvement.
The board needs a full examination as well.
Why does the board itself need a full examination?
Because my personal opinion is that the board has been a puppet for the superintendent. Our governance works in reverse here.
Both Christy Yang and Fred Worrell have children in the school district and says even though this situation happened at West, it impacts every student in Sun Prairie.
They were unsurprised, and they are happy that we're here.
We tell our kids to go to school to be good students, to listen to the teachers, to listen to the staff, and they're horrified knowing that he was the dean of student and he was able to do this.
I reached out to the district and they told me that they understand that this is hard for the entire community and that they will have an update for parents very soon. Reporting in the newsroom, Tanisha Shaw, News 3 Now.
Tanisha, thank you. Gilkey-Meissiger is expected back in court next month. A man is facing several charges after an incident where he allegedly threatened a group of people. This happened last night at the Tenny Park Beach. Madison police responded to the beach's shelter on Sherman Avenue for a man with a gun. Two victims had rented the shelter for a birthday party when they heard a man and woman arguing loudly. When a group of adults at the party tried to intervene, the man allegedly pulled out a handgun, loaded it, and pointed it at one of the victims, telling them he'd shoot anyone present. Now, several adults and children at the party ran from the area while the man paced the parking lot. By the time officers got there, the man was trying to leave. After a struggle, police arrested him. The department says officers found a gun and drugs on the man, and he's now been booked into the Dane County Jail. Well, it should be a little cooler out there tonight. Temps in the 60s, but this weekend will be hot and humid again. Meteorologist Blaze Keller with what we can expect. Blaze?
That's right. We're looking at another active weekend. This is going to be potentially Sunday morning. So let's take it back to Friday night into Saturday and then relook at future track. Because Friday night into Saturday, we may be dealing with not only showers and thunderstorms, but maybe one or two severe thunderstorms. An isolated chance for severe thunderstorms in the green or marginal risk, a slight risk in the yellow, so a scattered chance for severe thunderstorms, mainly Friday night into Saturday morning. All along a cold front, those storms are going to develop in parts of Minnesota, northwestern Wisconsin, and travel south and eastward as we go into the morning hours on Saturday. And where that cold front eventually sets up is where we'll see redevelopment as we head into Saturday night into Sunday. That's going to be our stationary front. Latest data may be sliding that further to the south, which could mean those high rain totals by the time all this rain wraps up sometime Tuesday, could be moving southwards as well. But our focus, because this is going to be in the late Friday night to early Saturday morning time frame, is going to be this severe weather first. Pretty much all severe weather threats are going to be possible. That would be heavy rain, especially strong winds and hail. And we can't rule out an isolated weak tornado or spin up because the winds out ahead of that line of storms will twist to eventually turn with that line of storms as it moves on through. So we may just see a weak spin up. But as Eric mentioned, we're headed into the low 60s tonight. A few upper 50s could be possible as well. Underneath mostly cloudy conditions, a stray shower or two can't be ruled out. We're going to look at all that rain chance throughout the weekend into the start of next week and how much rain Wisconsin could pick up coming up in the full forecast. All
right, Blaze, thank you. Police in Menominee Falls near Milwaukee have released dramatic body cam video of a water rescue. Monday, a family's dog jumped into the Menominee River. A father jumped in after the pet and then the son after his dad. The strong current took the pair downriver where they eventually grabbed onto a branch. Crews were able to pull the dad out, but the son was swept away, eventually being rescued farther downstream. The father and son were taken to the hospital for treatment. The dog later found safe sitting outside the family's truck. And a Wauwatosa family is rescued from their flooded home over the weekend. Sunday morning, Katie Knitter and her husband woke up to find their home filled with several feet of water. They called 911 and woke up their 5-year-old daughter as well. They packed a small bag of belongings. The family, 2 dogs, even their daughter's beloved goldfish Rodeo boarded a rescue boat.
He's become a member of the family, and I just knew that my daughter was about to lose so much. And I thought, if I can do one thing for her, I can save this goldfish. And so we put the goldfish with some water in a little Tupperware in the kitchen, and we handed it to the fireman and asked him to save our fish.
Katie says, like many others in the neighborhood, her family does not have flood insurance. It's never been a problem for the area, so all of those damages to pay for the repairs, that'll come out of their pockets. Well, key new data shows costs rose sharply for producers and manufacturers last month. The latest producer price index jumped 0.9% from June. Now that lifts the annual rate to 3.3%. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics data, the readings far exceeded economists' expectations for prices rising. Now, ultimately, economists believe businesses will have to make a decision on whether to pass down the increased costs they're facing to the American consumer.
Retailers don't want to raise prices. We're sometimes get choked a little bit by what we are allowed to buy it at and what we have to retail it at in the store.
Now, the Port of Los Angeles also reported moving more than 1 million containers in July for the best month on record, a potential sign that many businesses brought in more product in anticipation of President Trump's reciprocal tariffs deadline at the beginning of August. About 90% of teachers have to reach into their own pockets to get supplies for their students for the school year. But one Madison organization is looking to fill that gap. The Teacher Support Network delivers supplies to all 52 Madison schools year-round. And that includes items like basic supplies, snacks, hygiene products. The network's community engagement director says it is designed to keep school staff from spending their own money.
We have a web store site for each school where they have their own login. Teachers or whoever is in charge of kind of that ordering process will go ahead, look through the inventory on Easy Office Products website, place the order, and it'll be to them in 24 to 48 hours.
Now, this year, the foundation is looking to raise $350,000. It's about $25,000 more than it raised last year. If you'd like to donate to the Teacher Support Network, you can go to schoolsmakemadison.org. Still to come at 10, Blaze tells us more about our rain chances for the weekend and saving Madison's lakes. What's being done to slow down an increase in temperatures on Lake Monona?
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Welcome back. It may not be news to many of us that Madison's lakes get a bit dirty, but local scientists and environmentalists say their health is actually worse than we may realize. Armand Rahman takes a deeper dive at what's making the outlook so murky and what we can do to save our troubled waters.
Fishing for bluegills, man.
Roy's been casting lines in Lake Monona since the 80s. Today,
but I tried to get some crappie. They ain't biting good.
Still, the retired Army vet finds what he's really looking for: peace.
My mind, I feel free, man. I feel free. You can't bother me.
But the lakes Roy loves, scientists like Paul Hansen say they're in trouble.
Personally, I think they're kind of sick. You know, they're a little bit ill.
Hansen and his team are limnologists, sort of like lake doctors. But to check up weekly on plant life and water quality, they might use a bit of a different tool.
This is a perfect example of a limnological sampling tool. Basically, you take something that you already know and you tie a rope to it and chuck it in the water.
With 4 tosses,
Why don't we do this on lake?
on Madison's 4 lakes, the rake is their stethoscope to track the abundance and diversity of plant species.
Water clarity matters, so you need sort of clear water for the sun to actually get down through the water column to get to the plants so they can grow.
Harmful algal blooms, it creates oxygen dead zone in the lake. That reduces the habitat for fish.
What's making the lakes sick? It starts on land, farms, lawns, and cities washing nutrients into the water.
It's principally phosphorus and nitrogen, and phosphorus is one of the nutrients that determines how much algae is growing in the system.
You can see we churned up a little bit. Did we get into the weeds?
Yeah.
Actually, we're just getting in the weeds.
The challenge is trying to understand, what's causing that sickness, and to recognize that it's a problem.
It ends up being a lot more than just a science question.
Sarah Walling with Clean Lakes, Wisconsin says when it comes to agriculture runoff, the treatment is happening, but slowly.
A lot of the new generation of farmers are interested in trying things a little differently, incorporating cover crops, incorporating buffers along streams.
Just half of the 30,000 farms in the Yahara watershed have nutrient management plans. Walling says it's up to her crew at Clean Wisconsin to let lawmakers know farmers need consistent financial support to implement practices year after year.
It's really challenging for many of our state's farms to bear the cost of doing things differently. We can't just have that as a piecemeal approach.
And on the other side, urban growth also adds more pressure.
Madison is growing like crazy, controlling erosion and runoff from construction sites.
So just what is polluting our water? Well, just like in your doctor's office, it's time to break out the thermometer to test for bacteria.
They tend to like a warmer temperature.
Temperature is one of the vitals Public Health Madison-Dane County checks at beaches every day, looking for cyanobacteria or blue-green algae.
Like pea soup or spilled paint, and it can be really harmful to smaller bodies, so very young children or small dogs.
In 2024, more Dane County beaches were closed than in any of the past 10 years.
E. coli is definitely considered an indicator bacteria.
The problem? Testing takes time, up to 18 hours. Meanwhile, conditions that favor bacteria growth are becoming more common.
Rainfall often washes in a lot of nutrients, and bacteria love it. They feed off the sun.
The lakes feed the greater Madison economy, too. $220 million a year, according to Clean Lakes Alliance. So Walling says the fight to save them can't wait.
If it was a simple issue, we'd have a silver bullet for it by now.
So the prognosis? Ill, but manageable.
We all get sick, right? And often we all get better, right?
Back on Monona, Roy didn't get many fish, but he did reel in a new friend, a fellow veteran named Bruce.
But we got enough for a nice fish fry, which is good. The lakes are very important. Very important. We got to keep them.
Keep them so Roy can keep his aquatic therapy.
They got lots of fishing spots, man.
Reporting in Madison, Armand Rahman, News 3 Now.
Well, such a treasure. Armand, thank you. To find out the water quality at a beach near you, you can head to the Public Health Madison-Dane County website. That's publichealthmdc.com. Well, it'll stay mostly dry overnight. Rain, though, in the forecast for the weekend. Here's Blaze with more on those rain chances.
That's right. Mostly dry tonight. A few showers still out there from earlier this evening, but the bulk of the rain is going to arrive in about 24 hours. Friday night into early Saturday. We talked about it, but we'll go over it again. That's when we could see some severe weather, and those rain chances look to continue through at least Tuesday of the upcoming work week. So wider picture, we'll take it into near the Wisconsin River in Richland County, as well as Iowa County, and then back into Columbia County, just south of Pacific along 51. That's where we do find some isolated showers just outside of Richland and to the north and west of Dodgeville. We also find a little bit of rain activity beginning to move into Beaver Dam. Very light rain compared to especially what we're going to potentially see throughout the upcoming weekend into Monday and Tuesday of next week. So Friday night into Saturday is when we could see some severe weather. We lose the severe weather threat but we're not saying goodbye to the moist air mass that is going to be overhead throughout the rest of the weekend into the start of next week. I've talked about it before, but precipitable water is a measurement of just how saturated the atmosphere is. And when we had our flooding across parts of southern Wisconsin last weekend, our precipitable water was at least 2 inches. And that's what we're going to see as we head Saturday into Sunday and then Sunday into Monday. The cold front that brings us that chance for severe weather Friday night into Saturday eventually becomes more of a stationary front. And stationary fronts, as I mentioned also before, is a good place for showers and thunderstorms to just develop and develop again. They rain themselves out, but they don't really move. Again, a stationary front, living up to its name, really doesn't move very far. So we have to wait until something kicks it out. And until another weather system does, not only do those showers form along it, but other little weak disturbances will ride along that stationary front, almost like a road, and bring even more rain chances to an already saturated place. And so we're going to be carefully watching where this stationary front sets up. Right now, it could be setting up to our north, and eventually it will get kicked to our south as we go Tuesday night into Wednesday when another high pressure system moves on in. But take a look at some of these rain totals coming in from Friday through Wednesday night. And a lot of this rain is going to wrap up late Tuesday into early Wednesday. 3 to 5 inches in Marshfield, Eau Claire 2 to 3, La Crosse 2 to 3, Rhinelander 2 to 3, Madison not as high, but anywhere between 1 to 1.5 inches. Out there in Milwaukee, a very similar type possible accumulation. So if that stationary front moves a little bit to the south, those rain totals travel south with it. On the opposite end of that, if that stationary front stays to our north, the rain totals or the higher rain totals stay to our north as well. So our excessive rainfall forecast, low to medium, Friday into Saturday, Saturday into Sunday, and then Sunday into Monday. And for context, over this past weekend, we had that in the high category. So we're not seeing that quite here yet. That could change, so stay with stay with Channel 3000. We'll keep you updated. But in the meantime, those rain chances do look to wrap up, as I said, on Tuesday, and then a high pressure system will dry us out and keep us in the low 80s through the end of our upcoming work week, with 70s possible by that following weekend.
All right, Blaze, thank you. Next in sports, the Packers held a joint practice today with the Indianapolis Colts. We'll hear how the team is shaping up and when Jordan Love might be back on the practice field. Well, next Wednesday's the big day at George Webb after the Brewers won that 12th straight game yesterday. The Milwaukee area restaurant giving away free burgers at all 23 of their Wisconsin locations. So mark your calendars again next Wednesday, August 20th, 2 to 6 p.m. 25,000 pounds of hamburger meat to prepare to give away about 200,000 patties, they think. And the price tag, well, that's going to reach just shy of $1 million. The burgers and the win streak have really energized the city.
It's unbelievable. I mean, like the 3 midweek games, aren't usually packed out like that. So just seeing them come out and, we understand that, they work hard and pay for tickets to come watch us play, that, it really does mean the world to us. And even going back to when it was flooded out there and the parking lots were closed, seeing everybody come out for that, like it's unbelievable.
And rest assured, they'll also be out in full force when they host a celebration of life for Bob Uecker. That is next week. The tribute set for Sunday, August 24th. It'll take place before and during the Brewers game against the San Francisco Giants. Uecker joined the broadcast team for the Brew Crew back in '71, beginning his decades-long run as the voice of the Milwaukee Brewers. A commemorative pin giveaway is planned exclusively for the game. First pitch that day set for 1:10 in the afternoon. Today, the Packers practiced down at Indy with the Colts, and although Jordan Love was on the sidelines, there is some good news when it comes to his recovery. Senior Packers writer Jason Wilde explains from Green Bay.
We learned 2 important things from the Packers' joint practice with the Indianapolis Colts today. 1, if they have to play a game without quarterback Jordan Love and 5 of their 6 top receivers, they're cooked. That's the kind of insight Channel 3 was looking for when they brought me onto the team. And 2, while Jordan Love watched practice wearing a cast on his left hand. The surgery to repair damaged ligaments in his left thumb, his non-throwing hand, was successful to the point that they are hoping and expecting Jordan Love to be able to do some work in practice already next week.
Surgery went well, and he's in great spirits, and he's here with us. So, yeah, now it's just about putting in the work to get the thumb rehabbed.
Now, obviously, Love will not play on Saturday night against the Colts at Lucas Oil Stadium, and he will not play in the preseason finale, most likely, against the Seattle Seahawks at Lambeau Field. But we'll have to wait and see exactly how much he does do in practice next week. And not just him. Those 5 wide receivers that were not available today, Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, Dontavion Wicks, Jaden Reed, and Savion Williams. The only one of their top 6 available was Matthew Golden, who hopefully was in bubble wrap for much of the practice. They won't have a whole lot of time to get all on the same page in time for the September 7th opener against the Detroit Lions at Lambeau and on Channel 3. But they have to get that work in because that is the key to the Packers offense. In Green Bay, Jason Wilde, channel3000.com.
That's why he's on the team, folks. Thanks, Jason. The Packers will face off against the Colts. Lucas Oil Stadium. That'll be on Saturday with a noon kickoff down there in Indy. And the Bucs unveiled their schedule for the upcoming season. That starts October 22nd at home against the Washington Wizards. It is a prime slate over the course of the season. 22 weekend games at Fiserv Forum before they wrap up the regular season April 12th in Philadelphia. Blaze is back. One final check of the forecast after a short break. Well, coming up on News 3 Now this morning, many students are getting ready to leave for college. We'll have tips on what you can do to get your kids ready for the school year. Also, keep your eye on the downtown streets. It's going to be kind of a mess down there, and pack your patience. And hopefully, as they move in, they don't have to deal with severe weather come Saturday.
Saturday morning, you may be dealing with some severe weather. Throughout the rest of the weekend, we're just going to be dealing with rain. So if you do have to do any moving, tomorrow might be the day. Upper 80s to low 90s. So a bit maybe humid at times, but it will be dry as we sit underneath clear to mostly clear conditions. And then there's a look at the weekend forecast. Upper 80s to low 90s Friday and Saturday. The severe weather threat will wrap up by the mid-morning to late morning hours on Saturday. And then we transition over to just heavy rain at times Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday before drying out for the second half of next week.
All right, Blaze, thank you. Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 10. Stephen Colbert Show is next. Our next newscast tomorrow morning at 4:30. You can always find us streaming 24/7 on Channel 3000+. Have a good